Have you ever wondered why being intimate with your wife has become more difficult, even though the love is still there? At this age, there are things that men rarely talk about, even with their lifelong partner. One of those things is the feeling of no longer being in control during intimacy, like they once were in their younger years, difficulty achieving or maintaining an erection, or simply feeling like something's not the same. These issues don't just cause awkwardness in the bedroom, they also affect self-esteem, the emotional bond between husband and wife, and sometimes even a man's belief in himself. You are not alone in this. Many men over the age of 60 are experiencing the same thing, and it doesn't mean it's too late to change. By understanding the real causes and applying the right, natural methods, men can absolutely improve their sexual health, restore their confidence, and most importantly, preserve intimacy in their relationship. In this video, we'll explore the key factors that affect male sexual function in later years and how to gradually improve it without strong medications, without pain, and without embarrassment. Stay with us through the entire video so we can understand it clearly together. Before we begin, please support me by hitting the subscribe button, leaving a comment, and sharing your thoughts below. Your support is my greatest motivation to create more. The overlooked role of hormones in aging videos, like this part 1 when intimacy becomes difficult. The silent impact of erectile dysfunction for many men over the age of 60. Being close with their wives no longer feels as easy as it used to be. At first, it may be just a few moments that didn't go as expected, but over time, those moments of failure become more frequent. Worry begins to replace confidence, and at some point, the man stops taking the initiative. The fear of failure in the bedroom not only drains his spirit, but also creates an invisible distance between husband and wife. Many begin to avoid physical touch, even eye contact with their partner. Meanwhile, the wife quietly senses the coldness, confused and unsure about what is going on. Prolonged silence causes the relationship to grow more distant. The less they talk, the more misunderstandings arise, and in many families, intimacy slowly fades away, even though love still remains. Many men believe this is just a part of aging, something that can't be avoided. But the truth is, erectile dysfunction isn't simply about getting older. It's a signal that the body and the mind need to be cared for in a better, more intentional way. So what exactly is making intimacy more difficult after turning 60? Let's find out in the next section the physical, biological, and emotional causes behind erectile dysfunction in older men, part 2. Why does intimacy become more difficult with age? As men enter their 60s, many begin to realize that intimacy is no longer as simple as it used to be. Even though the love for their partner remains strong, the body no longer responds the way it once did. So what's really happening in reality? There are many silent factors that gradually affect sexual function, from blood circulation hormones and muscle strength to mental and emotional health. First and foremost, blood flow plays a critical role to achieve and maintain a firm erection. The penis needs physical health, movement, strength, and diet. A strong and steady supply of blood, but over time blood vessels become less flexible, making circulation more difficult if blood is not pumped effectively or doesn't arrive at the right time. The erection may be weak or fade quickly. That's why men with high blood pressure, high cholesterol, or diabetes often experience more sexual difficulties as they age. In addition, we can't overlook the role of testosterone, the hormone that drives male desire and sexual function. After middle-age testosterone levels naturally decline year after year. When this hormone drops too low, men often feel tired, lose interest, and even when aroused, the body may not respond as strongly as before. Another factor that's rarely mentioned, but extremely important, is the weakening of the pelvic floor muscles. These are the muscles located at the base of the pelvis, responsible for controlling erections and ejaculation over time. If these muscles are not exercised, they weaken just like any other muscle group. As a result, even when all other conditions are favourable, maintaining an erection becomes more difficult. And finally, no less important is the psychological factor. After a few unsuccessful experiences, many men begin to feel anxious or fearful every time they approach intimacy. That fear creates stress hormones which cause blood vessels to constrict, making it harder to maintain an erection. The more worried they are, the more likely they are to fail, and failure only adds to the fear. It becomes a vicious cycle. But fortunately, one that can be broken if we understand it and take the right steps. Recognizing these underlying causes is the first step toward improvement, but erectile dysfunction is not just a private issue. Sometimes it can be a warning sign of more serious health problems. So could these difficulties in the bedroom actually be signaling a hidden condition within the body? Part 3, erectile dysfunction. When your body is sending an SOS, many people believe that erectile dysfunction is simply a private issue, nothing more than the problem in the bedroom. In reality, it can be an early warning sign of serious underlying health conditions, especially in men over the age of 60. In other words, sexual function is often a mirror reflecting the overall health of your body, from your heart and metabolism to your emotional stability and mental fitness nervous system. First, it's important to understand that the blood vessels in the penis are among the smallest and most sensitive in the entire circulatory system. If blood flow in this area has started to weaken, chances are that larger vessels like the coronary arteries in your heart may already be affected. Numerous studies have shown that erectile dysfunction can occur 2 to 5 years before the first heart attack, which means, if noticed early, this could be a precious opportunity to prevent a much more serious event in the future. Next, diabetes is a common but often overlooked cause. Chronically high blood sugar levels damage small blood vessels and peripheral nerves. As a result, the penis may lose sensitivity signals from the brain, don't transmit effectively, and blood doesn't arrive quickly or strongly enough to produce a firm erection. This situation becomes even more serious when combined with high blood pressure, which also damages the inner walls of blood vessels over time. To make matters worse, many common blood pressure medications have side effects that reduce libido or make it harder to maintain an erection, leading patients to mistakenly believe they're simply losing function. Another hidden enemy of sexual health is high cholesterol, particularly LDL, the so-called bad cholesterol. When excess cholesterol builds up inside blood vessels, it forms plaques that narrow the arteries and restrict blood flow to the penis. And as you already know, if blood can't reach the right place, no amount of desire, stimulation, or effort will matter. What's concerning is that all of these conditions, diabetes, hypertension, high cholesterol, often develop silently without pain or obvious symptoms in their early stages. And erectile dysfunction may be one of the very first warning signs your body is trying to send you. So instead of ignoring it, hiding it, or brushing it off as just aging, consider it an opportunity to reassess your cardiovascular, metabolic, and neurological health before it's too late. And once we've identified the root causes, the next important question is, what can we do to improve the situation? How can we restore sexual function, boost overall health, and do it all in a way, communication, the foundation of lasting love, that's safe, effective, and not entirely dependent on medication. Part 4, natural solutions to improve erectile function in older men. After understanding why erectile dysfunction appears more frequently with age, the next important question is, what can we do to improve this condition in a safe, natural, and long-lasting way? The good news is you can absolutely improve it without relying on medication. Just a few small changes in daily habits and lifestyle have helped many men significantly enhance their sexual health, and more importantly, regain confidence in their relationships. First, let's start with the most essential factor, blood circulation in order to achieve an erection. The penis needs a rich and timely supply of blood when blood vessels become hardened, or circulation is. Poor blood can't flow strongly enough to the penis, leading to weak or short-lived erections. To improve circulation, gentle daily exercise is a simple but powerful method. Just 20 to 30 minutes of brisk walking, cycling, or swimming is enough to boost circulation and also helps control blood pressure, cholesterol, and blood sugar, all of which directly impact sexual function. In addition, you should increase your intake of foods that boost nitric oxide, such as beets, watermelon, and dark leafy greens. Nitric oxide helps relax blood vessels and allows blood to flow more easily to the penis. But blood flow isn't the only factor. Testosterone, the male sex hormone, is also crucial. After middle age, testosterone levels gradually decline, causing men to feel tired, lose desire, and feel less masculine. To help your body restore testosterone naturally, try getting enough sleep, doing lightweight training, and eating foods rich in zinc, vitamin D, and omega-3s. These nutrients support natural hormone production without the need for synthetic hormone therapy, unless absolutely necessary. One often overlooked but extremely important factor is the pelvic floor muscles. This group of muscles, located deep in the pelvic area, plays a key role in controlling erections and ejaculation as we age. These muscles naturally weaken if they're not actively trained, and this leads to reduced control even when all other conditions are ideal. The good news is you can strengthen these muscles by doing Kegel exercises, a simple, discreet technique. Trust, respect, and emotional connection that can be done while sitting, lying down, or even walking without anyone noticing. After just a few weeks of regular practice, many men report improved control, stronger erections, and longer duration during intimacy. And finally, we must talk about the psychological side. Many men have no major physical problem, but are blocked by their own thoughts, fear of failure, fear of disappointing their partner, fear that my time is past. These thoughts trigger stress hormones, which constrict blood vessels and disrupt the body's natural sexual response. That's why learning how to relax and manage stress is absolutely essential. You can start with simple steps like deep breathing for 5 minutes a day, light meditation, or just turning off all electronic devices 30 minutes before bedtime to let your mind fully unwind. And just as important, talk to your partner. When two people can speak openly, you no longer have to carry the worry alone. Empathy, understanding, and companionship. These are the most powerful forms of healing, far beyond what any medication can offer. In short, you don't need a complex solution. Just understanding your body, making healthy lifestyle adjustments, and keeping a positive mindset can help you improve erectile function naturally and sustainably without harming your health. But there's one thing even more important if you want long-term results. You cannot walk this path alone. Connection, communication, and walking side by side with your partner are the key elements that will support you through this journey. So how do we maintain intimacy, understanding, and a deep emotional bond as we age? Let's move on to the final section. The role of emotional connection and communication in later life. Relationships are 5. Nurturing, shared purpose, and intimacy in marriage connection. Emotional closeness, communication, and companionship in later life. Marriage at this stage of life, many people believe that romance in marriage has passed its peak and now it's just about companionship. But the truth is, emotional connection and intimacy in marriage can be deeper than ever if we know how to nurture it. Erectile dysfunction isn't just a physical issue. It affects the mind's self-esteem, and more deeply, the sense of closeness between two people. After a few failed experiences, many men choose silence. They stop talking, stop reaching out, and gradually withdraw from the emotional world they once shared. Their partner quietly sensing the distance may feel confused, hurt, and without clear communication, that pain is easily misunderstood as rejection, disinterest, or coldness. The danger is this: when two people stop talking about what matters, the distance between them grows until one day they can no longer truly feel each other. But here's the good news. Connection can be rebuilt and even become stronger if both are willing to open up. Sometimes all it takes is one honest conversation, one moment of courage to say, "I don't feel like myself anymore. I'm afraid I'm disappointing you." That single moment can break the shell of silence and open a space where both partners can walk this path together. You may be surprised to know that many wives do not blame their husbands for struggling with intimacy. What they truly want is not a perfect man, but a man who is honest, who is willing to share, to face the issue, and to seek solutions together. And it is that deep understanding that forms the true foundation of love in later life. At this point in our lives, we don't need to be like newlyweds. Again, we just need to be there for each other, understand each other, and still hold on to that closeness in a look, in a touch, in the quiet moments each evening. And caring for your sexual health is not just about yourself. It's a way to preserve the love, the warmth, and the connection that have endured through so many years together. Daily habits that make a huge difference. Maybe the body is no longer as strong as it was in our youth, but the heart, when nourished by empathy and understanding, can still beat with deep love and lasting bond. And sometimes, all it takes is one person to open up, and both will find their way back to themselves and back to each other. Dear friends, erectile dysfunction is not the end of your sex life, nor is it a sign that your time has passed or that you've lost your value. On the contrary, it is a gentle reminder from your body, a message that it's time to listen to care and to understand yourself more deeply with the right understanding and the right approach. Improvement is absolutely possible, from blood flow, hormone levels, and muscle strength to mental well-being. Every factor can be adjusted little by little so that over time you can regain control, confidence, and closeness with your partner in a way that is mature, meaningful, and fulfilling, and above all, empathy, communication, and companionship between husband and wife remain the most powerful and lasting remedies, helping us overcome any challenge that comes with age or health. If you are on this journey or know someone who is, please share this video with them as a message of hope. You are not alone, and you deserve a fulfilling life, even in your later years, if you found today's content helpful. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment below what resonated with you the most. Or is there a topic you'd like us to explore in the next videos? Thank you for listening, wishing you good health, happiness, and may you always keep the flame of love burning bright throughout every step of your golden years. See you again in our upcoming